I got Dave the Exterminator. That's right, the creator of Exterminator hot sauce, Dave Johnson, on the podcast today.
Pull out your hose and grab your can. We're about to integrate another Pest Geek podcast. Hi, everybody. Frank Hernandez here, and welcome to the Pest Geek podcast, bringing you the latest information on pests, products, and politics from today's leading industry sources to help you start, manage, and grow your pest control business.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of the Pest Geek podcast. I am your host, Frank Hernandez, here every day discussing all things pest. And today, we're discussing hot sauce. That's right, Exterminator hot sauce. Dave Johnson, the creator of Exterminator hot sauce, is on my podcast. I got him to come on, folks. That's just amazing. Right there, that right there is a feat of strength. Getting him on this podcast, but I really do appreciate him coming on. And I want to remind everybody that follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, follow us on our website. We're everywhere. We got a group. Join the group on Facebook, Pest Geek Podcast Listeners Group. And there we're going to be discussing everything about all the podcasts that we publish, and comment on it. Let us know what else we can do better. How we can, what did we miss? I mean, what can we, because we need to make sure we get the best. That we're going to be the number one pest control training podcast in the world. That is our goal, and that's what we're shooting for. So, we're going to go big or go home this year. And so I do thank you guys for listening, tuning in every day on this podcast. And now I'm going to bring on Dave, the Exterminator. The crowd is going nuts, Dave. These people are so excited you're here today. It's unbelievable. Hey, Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, how you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so excited about this that we got a hot sauce to represent the industry because we didn't have that before. So that's about the only product we were missing. It was hot sauce.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, no. So what I got a taste of it. I got it over the weekend. Thank you for this, by the way. And I got to taste it.
Sure.
A really good hot sauce. I mean, I was having it with, I'm Cuban. So Cubans don't traditionally eat a lot of hot sauce. And my wife is from Guatemala. So she is used to eating a lot of hot sauce. And we were having breakfast, and a staple for us is eggs, beans, either bread or tortilla, and that's our staple, and then with hot sauce. And so I managed to test drive it very early when I got it, and I was really, really happy with it. It was really a good, tasty hot sauce. I was talking to you about it. It's kind of in the medium, but it does make you sweat. But the flavor is just really unique. The best thing the best thing I could probably do it is a milder version of Tabasco, Tabasco is probably the most unique tasting hot sauce ever. And this is kind of like a milder version of this. It's really good. How did you come up with hot sauce? Because before we get into the hot sauce, let's talk about your career, because you're in pest control.
Absolutely.
And you've been in pest control a long time. How the heck did you get started in pest control and get to hot sauce? Let's talk about that.
Well, it wasn't a jump from one to the other. A lot of things happened in between. Trust me.
Like it usually does.
But I got a phone call, like a lot of us do in this industry. I got a phone call from a very close friend of mine, Dan Ponton. He's with Industrial Fumigant, actually. And I got a call from my buddy, and he said, hey, my company needs some laborers, and see if you can help out with a fumigation. And I said, what's a fumigation? So that's kind of how I got into the industry, and never looked back. This is going to be 37 total years in the industry. Okay. And between starting out on a truck and working for IFC, actually, and then moving to Central Ohio, and still staying in the pest industry with a company that was just starting. It was actually a division of Service Master called Pest Free, and which, by the way, Stoy Hedges worked at Pest Free. So, and it's just cool to see all the different ways that people have been connected in and out of my life. And kind of fun to talk about that. But yeah, from a truck and then into supervision and then into operations and then into sales, and all of a sudden here I am general manager for a Central Ohio company, and just kept working my way through. And then I got into distribution. Worked for a distribution company called Southern Mill Creek Products. And
yes, I remember. Univar bought them out.
Remember Southern Mill?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Univar bought them out in 2000 and I believe 10. And so worked with Univar for a while. Great folks, great people, and then ultimately I was able to secure this position with Catchmaster, and I'm now the North Central Region sales rep for Catchmaster. I cover 8 states, or part of total of 8 states. So yeah.
So what states do you cover?
Been a heck of a ride. Well, I cover all the way from Tennessee, the majority of Tennessee except for Memphis. I cover all the way up to Michigan and the Upper Peninsula. Okay. And then Western Pennsylvania over to Chicago, including Greater Chicagoland. And that's enough. I mean, it's kind of a small pocket area of what we're doing. And I share the Midwest with our rep, Andy Bishop, who covers the western half of the Midwest. And then we've got 5 other reps across the country, including Bob Wiest, who's down at your place, down in Florida. You probably met Bob at shows and things like that down there as well.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually. I would like to, because I'm usually nobody comes like really down to Miami. Miami is like the final frontier of pest control for some reason. Not a lot of people make it this far down unless they're vacationing, and then they don't want to talk about pests. And so I have to figure out how to get more people down in South Florida. But no, that's pretty cool. So for those people who might not know what Catchmaster does, what is it that you guys do?
Well, we are by heart and originally we're formulating experts of glue products for flies as well as rodent products. I tell you what, real quick, November issue of PCT magazine has a great article in it called The Survivor Story. Okay. And it literally gives the history of Moses Frisch, who came over to came to America to start his business ultimately, and his whole family was wiped out during the Holocaust, and he came here to the United States to start his business. And so, I mean, that's just a great point of reference there. Give you the whole rundown of what AP&G is all about. And then, we for a lot of what we do with glue represents, the pests that we're after. Like I said, formulation is what we do at heart. Everything from trapping rodents in difficult situations to cold weather formulations and even up to our current and brand new product that we're just so excited to talk about now is our new OviCatch, our mosquito trap that we've got coming out in 2018. Okay. And yeah, no, that one really excites me because I've been doing a lot of keeping my eye out for Ovi traps that we can use over the market. There just isn't a lot of them here. There hasn't been. Most of the ones that are available are the ones the government uses. But I haven't, and I really like the fact, because we're an eco-friendly company, about using Ovi traps. Tell me about that, please, and please be as geeky as you want to be. Oh, well, sure, be happy to. I'm well, it's certainly, you nailed it. It's a very simple product. AP&G has a non-exclusive license from the CDC, of the National Institutes for Health to produce and sell this trap. Gotcha. So it's a non-exclusive license. In other words, other people can do it as well. But it's cool that we've gone through a lot of the checks and balances that the CDC required, and we're able to produce this trap. Essentially, it's it's glue base, no pesticides. Female is targeted, looking to lay her eggs. It's about as simple a design as you can get. She's attracted by an infusion. A lot of folks just used hay, or you can certainly use other like oak leaves and grass and things of that nature. And I'm learning a little bit more about that too. I've been to a couple of the state association meetings, and I'm learning, a lot of these people build their what they call stink water in advance, like up to about a week in advance, using different material that they would use to make that infusion. I've heard some people talk about using brewer's yeast and everything else in combination to get that attractability way up there. So literally, but if you're removing one female, potentially that's removing up to 1,000 mosquitoes. She lays about 150 eggs per cycle and about 6 in her lifetime.
Okay. How long is that life cycle for most of the mosquitoes that you're dealing with?
Well, you're looking at a very short period of time, literally a couple weeks in some cases, where the temperatures are perfect. It varies across the nation and with different species that we deal with. So, but anyway, the science behind what we do is our glue. The glue is actually a very wet, very soft, almost petroleum jelly in nature. And what that allows is for that mosquito to be pulled off. She can be pulled off to be tested in case of a disease outbreak, some sort of situation where she needs to be tested. At the very least, she can be pulled off for species identification and what have you. So that's the cool science behind the formulation of the glue that we were able to come up with on this.
Gotcha. And so what is the for PMPs or PCOs? What would be an application for us? How would we use it?
Perfect question. Really, I mean, in working with CDC and working through the health department, the district offices and things of the state, they certainly have things that they're looking at regarding disease outbreak. On the PMP side, the great benefit to this trap is to use it in conjunction with other things that they have going on. So if they have, if they're already doing adulticiding, if they're already doing larviciding, this is a perfect match, kind of a well-rounding that whole process by offering this trap. And the point being is that when you're working with the customer, the PMP can literally bring them into why it's so important to have a monitoring device, and that is that they become a larger component for their community. So now, knowing that female can be pulled off of that glue, she can be tested. So now the customer feels that they've got a point in this. It's an easier sell that way.
Gotcha. So
yeah.
All right. So and you're talking about an additional layer of reduction by trapping it and not having it being able to breed somewhere else.
Exactly. Well, here's the other part of that too. I mean, these gravity traps, as you know, are basically going to have a pull distance of about 3 to 4 feet around that trap. So if there's a female caught on that glue, she's already on that property in most cases. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're inviting additional problems. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So people are saying you're going to bring mosquitoes to my property. Yeah. How do we to tackle that issue of we're not actually bringing them in; they're already here. We're just trapping them.
Right.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
I mean, the container breeder species specifically. And I know down south, I mean, you guys deal with the 80s down there pretty heavily.
Yeah.
I mean, up in the Midwest and in the North, I mean, they're container species that we got to kind of be concerned about. Up in this region is the clulet and as well as the 80s Japonicus, which is a new species kind of, but they're looking to make sure that it's not a vector of disease as well.
Yeah, because I'm not familiar with that one. I'm usually familiar with the top 3 ones that are pretty much everywhere, and that's a new one on me. So there you go.
Right on. Well, there's a gang of them. There's a bunch out there, different species.
Yeah, no, there's thousands of them, but the ones that really cause a problem to us and I walk into yards where I have all 3 down here in South Florida.
Sure.
We will have early in the morning and activity, and then we will have complete midday activity and evening activity. We know we got at least all 3 varieties down here, so that's been it's a huge challenge. And then the biggest challenge we have is the design of the city. We have storm drains right up like 5 feet from the house. We'll have people planting all kinds of plants that hold water, like bromeliads, pots. It's just spraying alone. People down here, spraying alone isn't a solution. You have to have an integrated mosquito program. And, the spray companies can't, 14 days, you're not going to get it to last in the summer. I don't care what you're using. It's been a huge challenge for us. But I'm excited about this because, I remember a couple of years, this was a year and a half, 2 years ago, the Ovillanta in Guatemala. They were playing around with tires, turning them into traps. And then they were using a larvicide. And then filtering, and the more they filtered it, the stronger the larvicide got. So I was hoping that we would get something like that here too, to get a larvicide product that we can put in a trap, and use that. That would be a neat technology, but that one's a long way. That one's a long way off from getting approval. Everything takes forever, until there's an outbreak, and then we're all scrambling. So let me.
All of a sudden, there's funding.
All of a sudden there's funding, right? And Congress is in action. That's another matter. So now talk to me about the hot sauce. How did you go from, PMP to distributor? And working in the manufacturing and direct distributing to hot sauce. How did that come about?
Well, it's just been a side hobby of mine for years, and that's really all it was. And as a younger guy, a lot of my friends, we were really heavy into heat. We loved different spices and trying different things and so on. I never really gave it any thought, never thought about it specifically to as it would relate to my industry. Until about 7 years ago, my close friend and I were at a pest control conference, and we were having lunch, and we were in the food court of this convention center. And I was saying, we were just talking and eating our tacos or whatever we were having there, and I think I was pouring Tabasco on my taco, and I happened to say out loud, "Man, what would really be cool is if our industry had its own hot sauce." I literally said that, and so neither one of us thought really much more about it, and we just kind of continued on, and then kind of circled back and said, "You know what? That's really not a bad idea. You think about it." And it was something that we enjoyed and that we wanted to just naturally investigate. And so that was, like I said, about 7 years ago. And we came in and out of the whole idea for all this time, working with different sauces and spices and stuff. And so we came up with this spice mix that we took to a developer who mapped it out for us and literally built our recipe, and the rest was history. It was just kind of a cool thing that it all came together after this time. So that's pretty much the short story of it. So
from concept to actually getting it launched, it was about 7 years?
Well, you know what? Everything really kind of transpired. We started really in on this pretty hard last July.
I gotcha.
July 16, excuse me. July 16 is when we really started focusing in on it. And then in through getting the artwork worked out, working with the label, the government piece of it, the design and all of those things put together. Plus, I wanted to make sure that what we were bringing to our industry was high quality don't need it. Don't need any black eyes, so to speak.
Right.
Wanted everybody to enjoy it. And so we have that, and it's just really just simply built up that way. So
neat. So how are you distributing it now? I mean, where are they in stores yet, or just ordering it directly from you, or how is it working?
Yeah, no, actually, it's because I'm just super young, super small business. It's just it's online at
Gotcha.
our jnkspecialtyfoods.com, as well as on Facebook, J&K Specialty Foods. And we have other spices in the hopper that we're bringing to the market. It's just we're doing it slow.
Right.
We're doing it incremental and just having fun with it. It's been a joy to talk about it and see my friends enjoy it as well.
No, it's really good. I mean, I was talking to Harry about it before. And I said, that's pretty cool because you're in barbecue and he starts in hot sauce. I mean, geez, I wonder what's next. But
right.
The spices is a good deal because that's so you're looking at getting into a full line of specialty food products. Is that?
Yeah. Well, my business partner and I have basically a small list of various things we've been working on, and so over time we'll build it. It's just that this happened to be our launching product, and because being in the industry, it's just been a wonderful jumping off point.
Right.
We're not in any big hurry about it, and so
right.
it's we know we think we've got a good product that people enjoy. A lot of times too. I mean, this past fall was a great sign for us that companies were actually purchasing it as giveaways for the holiday time, as well as for their employees that they want to thank for a job well done and things of that nature. So it really exploded up over the holiday time frame, and now we're in that quiet period, which is fine because I am slammed with Catchmaster and working all the different spring shows and things that are going on.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for me that we get a little break here before the warm weather shows back up in my area, and of course the holiday seasons all start up again. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Good deal, man. No, I mean, it's a very good hot sauce. I really did like it. And, I have a very handful of sauces that I actually like because I'm not into getting my lips burned off. I'm just not into my colon getting on fire. And, no, I'm just not into that. So I haven't got nothing to prove at my age. I did all that. I did all the proving I was going to do in my 20s. I'm done. I'm just trying to enjoy my life. But really good, man. So I'm going to put up what is the website again?
Well, it's J&K Specialty Foods.
Gotcha. All right. So I want to put a link onto that, and people can link onto it from the show and order it. And how do you sell it? Like single bottle, case? How is it coming?
Correct. Yeah, we have in per bottle. You can buy it per bottle. We sell it by the case as well.
Okay.
I've got a handful of restaurants in our small area here that have actually I've been able to produce gallons for them. And
nice.
So it's just but I don't have that available yet on the website for purchase. But and I think as this kind of rolls on and rolls up, I'm hoping that we'll be able to put something together on a larger scale. But right now, I think people that just know me and know about the product is certainly really a great feeling.
No, that's awesome. So we just need to get we just really need to plug it. So like Kroger's and Publix, get it on their shelves. Let's just
Well, I appreciate that, but really, I think generally speaking, and the label says it true and right on that. I dedicated this sauce to the industry, to the pest industry, and my fellow hardworking coworkers out there all over the United States. So literally, it's I don't think this product, I mean, even though I went with a chef with a backpack to get a little bit of retail space, I don't know that this is specifically something that you'll see in those larger stores. But
Really?
you never
Okay.
say never, you know?
Yeah, you never know. People, if people want it, they'll get it. They're in the business of selling stuff. So if there's a demand, people will get it. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I really appreciate it, and appreciate you being on and taking the time to do this.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to doing this again. And hopefully, I will see you guys if I ever travel. I'm trying. It's just breaking away is the hardest thing for me. I'm trying to make it up to IPM in Baltimore. And but breaking away from the business is the hardest part for 4 or 5 days. I'm hoping that I might be able to do it in this year and see what happens. So maybe we'll get to meet up. I am familiar with Ohio. I spent a lot of years in the Midwest, out of Columbus. So I'm familiar with it, and just love to go back there again if I can to visit.
Well, if you're ever in the area, just got to give me a ring.
You got it, my friend.
All right, Frank.
Hey, thank you so much, man. You have a great one.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Pest Geek Podcast. Until tomorrow, you have a pestacular day.
Thank you for listening to the Pest Geek Podcast. If you have enjoyed the Pest Geek Podcast, please give us a rating, write a review, or subscribe to the channel. You can join the Pest Geek Society by visiting pestgeekpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. See you next time.